Yo, what's up guys? I hope you're all doing well. I've been playing a ton of Arkheron over the last few days and during the Steam Next Fest, and one thing I'm seeing people really struggle with is making builds and getting gear during a game and making that work. So I've been trying to make some guides to talk about this, and one thing I want to really dive deep into today is making a Shattered build and the importance of a Shattered build, why it's arguably better than a full Eternal build, and how to get that going very easy, very fast, and some ways to do that. So if you've got no idea, a Shattered build is what they call the Eternals. Is the Eternals have all of these pieces of gear, and these Eternals are shattered across the tower, and all of their gear is split across the tower, right? And a Shattered set, like how to make a Shattered build, is not going for a full tier set, right? So it's not going for a full Dahlia set or a full Penelope set. It's getting different pieces of different heroes and making that build work. That would be a Shattered build. And that's what I want to talk about today. So first up, why would you want to make a Shattered build? Because, and I'm going to go from the very basics, assuming you know absolutely nothing about Arkheron. So this is in the training, and you can see all the different characters here, so it's a good place to show this. And if you look at a Eternal, they are made up of 4 pieces, a crown, an amulet, and 2 weapons. So if we was to take every single piece of that Eternal and we equipped all, that gives us 2 benefits. The first benefit is we would have a tier set bonus, which you can see here. So there is a tier set bonus, 20% bonus damage when you have Fortitude, which is shield. When you have a shield, you do 20% more damage. So that is the tier set for having 2 pieces of the hollow, right? So the crown and a weapon, 2 weapons, amulet and crown, whatever it is, having 2 pieces would give you that tier set. So that's the first reason you want to collect the Eternal pieces. The second reason is because having all 4 pieces lets you turn into that hero. So you can hold down the button and you can transform into hollow. And now you are hollow, and not only do you have your normal abilities, you have an extra ability from being hollow, which is really, really powerful. So lots of players that are new to Arkheron jump in the game and they go, I want to be insert favorite character, and they try and look for all of those pieces. And because making a build during a run is pretty hard because you have no control over what pieces you're going to find, trying to find every single piece, it can feel like you never achieve it. It can be like an unsatisfying thing because you'll probably go down before you finished it, and you might just have like a placeholder piece that you've got no idea what it does, or 2 placeholder pieces, and you're just waiting to get the rest of your set, right? And that doesn't feel good. So why is a Shattered build better, in my opinion? These are all just my opinions, right? Why is a Shattered build better? Well, the first reason is because you get 2 set bonuses, right? So if you have 2 pieces of hollow, you would have this set bonus here, and if you can hold down F1 on the PC, you can see we have the set bonus, 20% more damage when you have Fortitude. But now if we was to go to Penelope and we was to take, the crown and the umbrella, we would now get the set bonus. You can see at the bottom, Penelope set bonus gained. And when we press F1, you can see we have Penelope set bonus of 2 extra endurance, and we have hollow set bonus of 20% bonus damage when you have Fortitude. So that means, look, we can do like dash 5 times, which is huge. And then we have the extra damage. The problem there is now we have 2 different pieces of Eternal gear. We cannot transform, for one. But the second problem is those pieces might not gel together. We have hollow, which can do these walls, and then we have Penelope, which has like a really close range umbrella. Does that work well, right? And that's why I would say the skill gap or the knowledge gap to making a Shattered build is quite high. But if you can do it, you get a real big benefit of being able to have a lot more options and then not feeling so gear dependent. So if you know what sets work well together, you can then be on a run. Say you're going for hollow, right? And you get hollow's first weapon. You then don't need to find 3 pieces of hollow to have a good run. You might know, oh, if I mix that with Penelope, that's a really good run. If I mix that with, Irena, that's a really good run. So it opens up your options a lot more, and it makes every single run you do much more possible to win, and much more possible to like snowball other players because your build is complete so much earlier than theirs, right? So that's why I think Shattered builds are better. But now let's talk about some different types of builds we can make with them and why they're so strong. Okay, so I'm going to keep this really broad. When the game does fully release, obviously we're just on playtest right now. When the game fully releases and we have the full hero rotation and it's out fully, I do want to make some full build guides, right? But because of just a few days, I'm just going to do some broad ideas to hopefully give you a chance and give you a good idea of where to start. So in terms of a melee build, what are some good melee ones? So here's the ones that I'd be mixing for if you're just trying to make a base melee build. First up, Adani, right? Adani is incredible because look at the set bonus. Ferocious. Melee damage increased by 20%. So equipping 2 pieces of Adani gives you 20% increased melee damage. If you are going for these pieces, you can see you have the Shriek, the Outburst. Now this is okay as a melee piece if you are overrun. If everyone's running at you, you can push them away. It's pretty good. I don't personally like it that much. Then you have this, increase your damage based on the number of nearby enemies. This is very, 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 very good. And you can see if you upgrade this to rank 3, damage amplification increased to 20% per nearby enemies. So if you're getting overrun, obviously this is good for pushing them away, but this is good for just turning the tide. You know, you can have, say 2 people are on you, that's 40% more damage. Combined with the set bonus, that's an extra 20%, that's 60% more damage, right? So this is huge. And if you ever feel like you're just getting melted in a fight, if you feel like someone gets on you and they just shred your health in like 2 seconds, it's because they're stacking stuff like this, right? So I would go for something like this. It's really good. Her weapons are also pretty good. You can throw a hook at an enemy, pulling them towards you. This is just incredible. If you've not seen it, it just looks like this. So you can just like dash to the enemy. And then you also have the claws, which are equally as good. This is the opposite. So instead of pulling towards the enemy, this pulls them to you. So I would say these are very, very, very good, the weapons, but they have a pretty big skill gap. So if you're looking like this, you miss. If everyone's running around and you know you're trying to catch the enemy who's running around, you go like this, that's 15 seconds without your ability. So it's kind of high skill, but you know when you get on the enemy, you do a lot of damage. So I think either of her weapons and the amulet are really, really nice as a good melee build, right? The second thing I would be going for, we go Penelope. You can see her foresight bonus is 2 extra endurance pips. Now, it's really good for 2 things. I'll just throw 2 pieces on. So we'll keep the neck and we'll put on, say, the crown and the looking glass, right? So why do we want this in melee? It's really good for chasing. You're going to see this a lot. There is very little way to close the gap in Arkheron. There are very few where you can root people, but you miss it, it's over. There are ways to to chase if you have, say, Subo. Subo has got a really good chase with his I think it's his neck. Yeah, the free run amulet. You can do like a really good run down with as a wolf. Very, very good. But there are very few other ways to chase an enemy, and you're going to find a lot of the time that the fights just don't end because no one can catch each other. With this, if someone's running, you get 5 charges, so you will catch them, right? You will catch them. And then if somebody's on you, again, if a whole team pushes you, you can get away. So it lets you play very much more aggressively because you have that ability. Again, it's a dodge, right? So if people are dropping things on you, say somebody drops a turret there, you can then dodge around the corner, right? It's really nice to have more charges than your enemy. The weapons themselves, if we go back, they're okay. I wouldn't say Penelope's weapon set is amazing for melee. You have the projectile that forms a bubble. Enemies inside the bubble are blinded, which is pretty good. And then you have the hand mirror, which is a range weapon. And again, this looks pretty bad because you're thinking this is a melee build. Why do I want this? Well, let's say you set an enemy up like this. You go in, you're doing this, they run away, and you pop the charges, right? So it can be very, very powerful if players don't know what they're up against. Your other options that work pretty well in melee would be over here, Arena. So Arena is more about control. If you can control an enemy, get some Arena pieces. If you are going with something that has some control, get some Arena pieces. Arena is 25% increased damage to stunned or slowed enemies. So if you get a piece that can stun or slow, this can include like the base pieces, you're going to do more damage with her tier set. And I would say pretty much everything she has is pretty good. You've got the Frost Crown is like if you played WoW, it's like ice armor. It's like a little extra armor that you can channel to have on yourself. You have this, which slows enemies down. And then you have a thrust, which gets you in. And then you have a cone, which slows enemies and damages them. So say you got a couple of her pieces, you're pretty good. And then the other things for melee, which are really good, are over on this side. Subo. Subo is like one of my favorite characters in the game. Subo is more aggression. Subo is more putting the enemy in a place where they feel like they've got nothing they can do. Everything that you get on him feels good, and he is just wild when you get to the breakpoints. 70% more damage at low health, being 75 HP. So absolutely busted. Summon a companion to fight beside you. You've got this thing here where you can chase people. The run free amulet. You've got the cone shape attack that makes enemies less effective, and then you've got the boom shackers, which binds an enemy, limit their ability to sprint and dodge. So let's say you went for that, and you went for, say, what do we not have right now? We've not got an amulet. So let's say you found you know, Irena and Subo, those bonuses together are increased damage to stunned and slow and increased damage at low health. Now, this is going to be more control based, but it's very, very aggressive in melee. So you've got this in melee. They try and run away. You just go like this. You've frozen them. Now you've got more damage to these slowed enemies. They're also trying to, you know, you get in a big fight. You have the frost armor to do this. People are pursuing you. You want to get away. You've got the run free, so you can run away. You can also use that to get in. People are trying to go. You've got the, you know, this thing here to slow them down, what they call chakras. You got these thing here to slow them down and bind them. So I think this is very, very, very good at, you know, just controlling a fight. It's very high skill ceiling, but if you can play this well, you can, not only can you like secure kills for yourself, but you're fighting a guy here, your teammate's over there, you slow the guy he's on, you come back to your guy, you turn around, you bind him, you're back to your guy, right? He's very, very good in a team, very, very good at controlling the enemies. And overall, I think they're my personal favorites for melee. Subo, over here, we've got Penelope, we have Adani, and we have Irena. And if you see that and you think, oh, well, that's not all melee because there's ranged in there. That's just how the game works. A lot of the game is going to be your team's here, their team's over there, and you're just poking. You're just poking each other before the fight starts. And that's a lot of the fights just start like that. And it's about breaking off and waiting for somebody to make a mistake. So it is good to build a bit of ranged into your build. So they're the melee options. Now let's talk about pure ranged. How do we make a ranged build and what sets are we looking for? So this is going to be biased, but here's my favorite way to make a range build using the Shattered system. First, I would get Hollow. Hollow is broken. Hollow is just incredibly strong in a team fight. So the set bonus is 20% more damage when you have Fortitude. And because Fortitude is your armor, it's the thing that sits above your health, the blue bar with the little shields on. And because you are ranged, you have much more control over your max health because one, you're not taking as much damage. And two, if you do take damage, you can just pop a Fortitude shard and fill back to full armor and no one can stop you because you're at the back, right? So very strong. She has the Gloomies, which will attack nearby enemies or heal your teammates, and they're just passive. You don't have to put them on people. You have the Outcast Amulet where you can mark a target to take more damage. You have the first weapon, which roots enemies, and the second weapon, which creates a destructible wall. Now, these weapons, I think, are phenomenal. So either of these that you can get are really, really good. You know, this itself looks pretty bad, and you're going to see a lot of people trying to use this in range. It falls off lot, so it's not that good. But the right click is a full root, which is amazing. The staff, on the other hand, is more long range. You can use this from quite far away. And let's say you have a team, one person breaks off in front, you just go like that, wall, your whole team just piles on this guy, and he just folds in like 2 seconds, right? And you can even like start downing him because you've got the wall. So Hollow is just insane in a ranged build. The other person I think is really, really, really good, also probably broken, is Grimwald. I think Grimwald is phenomenal. Now their set bonus, Fortitude and health regen. Fortitude and health will regenerate if you've not received or dealt damage in the past 3 seconds. I mean, you're ranged, you're not going to be taking that much damage, and you already have a set bonus that gives you more damage, you know, when you are at full Fortitude. So those two work incredibly well together. You've got Portal, which, you know, lets you teleport around the map. You've got Voltaic, a barrier that blocks enemy projectiles and allows teammates to shoot through. I think that's okay. Not many Scuffles stay ranged, so that's like okay. But his weapons are incredible. So say you went for the crown and the strange device. This is busted. This is busted. I've won most of my games like this. You know, enemy comes on you, you're doing the whole like staying at range. As soon as they push, say they push this corner, you just do this. You place it and you use it at the same time, and the damage just melts. They are down to like that much health before they even realize what's going on. I think it's incredible. And then you have say you're going into a fight, you'll start over here, you'll place your pole, you'll go in, you'll drop your pole here, you'll start charging the enemy, they'll turn to you and start attacking, you just get out, right? So powerful. It lets you play a little bit melee, a little bit close up. You see the portal the turret just stays there. Yeah, I think any way you play Grimwald is so strong. And then two other Eternals that work really well as a range build would be Kariv. Kariv is like, when you get a new player and you say, what build do you like? Oh, I really like Kariv. He's like, new players seem to sway towards him. I did as well, because he just feels so strong and chunky. So he's got Protective Totem, which gives your teammate damage mitigation, very support, very ranged. You've got Summon Fire, you've got a lobbed projectile that deals damage, and then you have a Flame Wall. So it's just fire damage. It's just throwing out fire. And his ability is cooldowns are 20% faster. So if you're using that with, say, the wall comes off faster on Hollow. If you're using that with Grimwald, the turret comes off cooldown faster. So he's incredible. And then over here, a really, really good one is at the very end here, you've got Dahlia. So Dahlia has the Vanish Crown. You literally become invisible. Incredible. You've got the Petal Dance Amulet, heals you and your teammates over time. Very supportive, very good. And then the throwing, these things here, if you never use these, they're a range weapon. So they're really good range weapon. And then you pop this little thing around you. So if you do get pressured, if someone does get on you, they get punished for it. So generally people will avoid you. So really works well. You know, it's a good melee thing for the extra damage, but it's really good as a deterrent as a ranged player. So that's good. And then you get increased max consumables with her as well, with her tier set. So you can stay back and have drop more of the healing things, these things here, the healing wards, or you can keep more, you know, fortitude shards to keep popping your own health up, whatever you want to do. But yeah, that's how I would be looking to set these up. Hopefully that gives you an idea of what plays well together, what different sets to look for in a game. Like I said, this game's really confusing and there's so many different pieces that have combos. And I do want to get full builds out in the future where we say, like, you know, get this piece and this piece and this piece and this piece, and that's the set. This is how you play it, show footage of it, and you know, really dive deep into it. But for now, hopefully that helps just set you up and, you know, maybe just open your perspective of, I don't just want to build my 4 set and transform, which is very powerful and very good. And if you can do it, awesome. But hopefully it gives you the idea of making shattered builds and having some fun with that, because I think it's the most fun part of the game and I love it. So yeah, hope it helps. Tons more guides to come, especially when the game is out. So subscribe if you want to see more, but thank you for watching. Take care and I'll catch you in the next one.